Okay. All right. Good morning, everyone. Just to test, especially to those who are joining via Zoom, can you guys hear and see me clearly? Just to make sure I'm not talking to myself or something. Okay. Thank you so much, Sir Jerome Revilla, for that confirmation. All right. Again, good morning. Wherever you are watching this one via Zoom or Facebook Live, good morning. Magandang umaga. Magandang umaga. Maayong buntag. Marhay na aga. Yes. Okay. So anyway, I'm Jeline Desacula, host of Principles of Scaling. Also the CEO of Ripple Kids Educational Services Inc. Also a proud member or circle multiplier of CEOInsight Asia. And let me officially welcome you to our Friday Principles of Scaling. Now, for me, na-feel ko kasi every Friday, I think naging habit na. It has been like a habit for me to really watch via Zoom or via Facebook Live Principles of Scaling. But who else? Who else has built that habit? Na really Friday morning, Friday 10 a.m. is for POS or Principles of Scaling. Any hands there sa ating chat box? Yes, Sir Jabs. Thank you so much for that confirmation, Sir Jabs. Sir Frank. Hopefully to the others then maging habit na natin every Friday morning. Friday morning is my POS morning. Principles of Scaling. All right. So anyway, before I continue pala to the next part, yes, here flash on our screen is our topic for today's Principles of Scaling. Later, we'll discuss more about that one. Also, I'd like to insert sa part na ito that yes, I'm hosting the Principles of Scaling for this month, but we are also encouraging other CEOInsight Asia members to, if you're interested, also interested to be one of our hosts for this type of event, Principles of Scaling, feel free to contact me in our community, Facebook groups and group chats, just in case you're interested. Yes. Okay. Now moving on to the next part. Okay, so Principles of Scaling, why are we doing this? Again, I mentioned earlier, yung habit, no? So we've been really consistently and religiously doing this Principles of Scaling every Friday, 10 a.m. And why are we exerting a lot of effort, time, and resources for this? So basically, we aim to install DNA principles that scale organizations. So this is the main reason why we do this every week. And with that, we would like to help build institutions for legacy beyond simply making money. So yon, as CEOs and business leaders, not beyond making money yung ating goal here. And also one of our goal is for our participants to have one key takeaway that you can immediately apply in your respective organizations. Yes. Now, moving on. Okay, for this part, for the month of July, our theme, just so you know, is all about business model, and focus is being methodical. Yes. And for the succeeding or next slides, here's an overview or just a summary of our topics per week for the month of July 20. So on to the next slide, Direk. Yes, our topics, for example, for week 1, this already done. We discussed more about the word experiment. Week 2, done discussing more about execute. And we are now on our 3rd week. So we are going to talk more about the word examine. And week 4, succeeding weeks natin, week 4, explore. And week 5, all about the word experience. So exciting lahat. Everything starts with letter E. And everything is exciting, really. So hoping that you won't miss out on any of those topics. All right, now next is a set of announcements. Okay, let's start with this one, CEO Summit. Not sure if you've already seen our Facebook pages. Yes, and we've posted something about this one, something to really look forward to this year. One of the highlights, I think, ng CEO Insights Asia this year is the CEO Summit. This happening this October. So kaabang-abang. So get your tux and gowns ready because we have a lot of things in store for our, both for our CEO Insights Asia members and non-members. So pag may kakilala kayo, interested or curious about CEO Insights Asia, I think this is a really helpful opportunity for them to really get to know us, our identity, our DNA. All right, on to the next part is all about our circle meetings. Just so you know, now in CEO Insights Asia, alam mo ba na we have unlocked 50 plus CEO circle members. What does it mean by unlocked CEO, 50 plus CEO circle members? So we now have 50 plus CEOs and business leaders who are participating, interacting, and engaging in different circle meetings happening in different schedules. And as you can see here, different logos or brands. And when I asked Sirfa, he mentioned that we have almost 30 companies or brands now participating actively in our ecosystem or community. So amazing, right? I started with CEO Insights Asia, medyo konti pa lang, and I'm really happy to see this significant growth just for a short period of time. All right, yes. And also, as mentioned earlier, we have multiple circle meetings happening. So for that one, we'd like to highlight on one featured circle multiplier here. On to the next slide. I'd like to introduce our featured CEO here, Mr. Ferdy Platon, co-founder and the operations lead of Bedrock Leadership and Management Consultancy. So let's watch this video to know more about his experience.
Good day, everyone. I'm Ferdy Platon, and I'm the co-founder and the operations lead of Bedrock Leadership and Management Consultancy, and I'm the founder of the La Maria's Events Management. First and foremost, I just want to thank you, Fa and Noni, for inviting me to the CEO Insights Asia. What I like about my first experience joining the circle meeting was I was amazed with the people behind this organization, because despite of their busy schedule as the head paddler of their own ventures, they can still manage to attempt, engage, and share their best practices as the leader. And by the way, my key takeaway was the shared DNA. Because if you have the one purpose, the one vision, and one mission shared DNA, we can definitely execute our business strategy. O diba? First meeting pa lang, very excited. So that's why I encourage you, yes, you to join our community of leaders and CEOs.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Sir Ferdy, for that wonderful testimonial or sharing about your experience. Now, on to the next announcement is this Certified Executive Partnership Program. So what is this about? It's basically a certification for your business coming from CEO Insights Asia. Okay, and it is to build more trust with your potential partners and clients. So imagine there are a lot of CEOs and business leaders already are aware, acknowledge, and really appreciate the DNA of CEO Insights Asia. And sometimes they look for people to deal with na may ganun ng DNA. So imagine if you're part of this community and you're looking for those kinds of partnership, collaborations, affiliations, it would be a lot easier if we get certified through this one. And yes, by the way, sorry, I forgot. For our circle meetings pala, I believe we already flashed the sign-up form. If you're interested, if you know someone who would really benefit from our circle meetings, invite them to accomplish that form. Also about the certification program, I believe the requirements, details more about this one will be flashed as well or posted in our comment sections at Facebook Live, here in Zoom via our chat box here. Yes. Okay. So now that's it about our announcements. Now on to the exciting part. Time check 10:11. Okay, on to the next slide. We are now going to start with a bit of introduction what we're going to talk about today. So again, our topic for today's principles of scaling up is all about examine. And what is this about? So I'd like to leave you with one-liner point. We're all business leaders here, CEOs, business leaders. Are you the type of leader who is micromanaging or really hands-on with your day-to-day activities, operations in your company? So let's know more about that one because there's a thin line between those 2 points. And to discuss more about this one is our faculty. I'm proud and delighted to introduce him. He is one of the founders of CEO Insights Asia and the one and only executive advisor of CEO Insights Asia, a man who I would say who always sets the bar higher in all his endeavors, transactions, and the word I would use to describe him is really consistent. With his black suit and red tie, walang magkakamali. This is Surfa. So without further delay, I'm honored and privileged to introduce to you our faculty for today, Mr. Florentino A. Hernando.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you, Jill, our fantastic host. Welcome to our third episode of CEO Insights Asia's Executive Series for July. Pag-uusapan natin ngayon ay exam. Excited na ba kayo? Para namang hindi kayo excited, isang shout out naman dyan. Di ba? Ayan. Pakitype excited. If you are, papasukin nyo itong isa ha. Ayan, sige. Alright, so for those who are watching Facebook Live, please do join us. Pwede na kayong mag-join sa atin. Dun sa mga troll, sinipa niya daw si admin, walang pangalan. Ayan, palitan niyo yung pangalan niyo dahil sisipain daw kayo para matanggap kayo dito. Right, okay. Anyway, before I proceed with our topic, I want to do 2 quick announcements, shout-outs. Unang-una, our July has 5 weeks, 5 Fridays, and as a tradition, the 5th one, I'm on break. Diba? Yay! So, meron tayong series break. By the way, my name is Florentino A. Hernando. I'm one of the founders and executive advisor of CEO Insights Asia, and our purpose is infusing ideas that build lasting companies. So ang gusto natin mangyari dito, we want to build our companies into something that we can transfer to our children and to our children's children and to the next generation. Si Ben, papasukin natin yan. Comyans yan. Sige, paki-admit. Alright. So ito yung announcement natin. AJ Araneta, the founder and CEO of Iran, he's a behind-the-scenes partner natin dito. He's also the director of partnerships of CEO Insights Asia. So he's the guy behind our Zoom account. He's the guy behind our SEC registration. So for your information, SEC registered na po tayo. Meron na pa tayong BIR. Yan po ang may sala ng lahat. And he's also the brain, well, not the brains, but more on the blood for our CEO Summit. Woo! Get your talks and your gowns ready. Ladies and gentlemen, ready na ba kayo? Happening this Friday, open for members, official members, and non-members of CEO Insights Asia. So that's one announcement. The second is, hindi ko siya binati kahapon, but Ma'am Chill Dagatan, happy birthday sa'yo, di ba? Okay, so yun ang kapartner natin ng wedding ni Eman at ni Tina. Yan. So we're the brains and the blood of the e-com industry. So I'm the advisor, she's the the super accountant of the e-com. So mostly ng mga kilala yung Lodi ng e-com. Madalas nandiyan kami. Paligod-ligod kami dyan sa kanilang mga opisina. Ayan. So that's one. Happy birthday, Chill Dagatan of Rachel Accounting Services. And syempre, hindi natin palalampasin, nag-birthday din yung sakitin natin na kaibigang Oso. Alam niya na kung sino siya, di ba? Happy birthday kay Eliza. Kahapon din yan. At happy anniversary sa kanilang dalawa ni Kenji. Nax, 5 years na silang naglolokohan. Ayan. Joke lang yan. Alright, so happy anniversary of Sellers Hub. Yan, sa mga kaibigang Oso natin. Alright, moving forward. Okay, so agenda tayo. Dito ba si Alay? Ba, binati ko siya. So agenda, sa anong pag-uusapan natin? We'll do a conversation starter. And then we'll do a quick recap. The first 2 weeks, very quick lang to. And then we'll define what micromanagement means. We want to understand, di ba? Alam naman natin ang feeling ng mina-micromanage. And then there's also a hands-on leader. The difference between a boss and a leader, they're both hands-on. Yung isa micromanager, yung isa, well, competency enhancer ang tawag ko ron. We'll talk about that. We'll talk with some facts and figures. We share ano ba mga senyales na tayo ay micromanager na, kasi minsan accidental tayo eh. Hindi natin alam micromanager na pala tayo. No? So we'll talk about that. Then defining deep dive, we'll talk about why it matters, and then we'll do a case study that's very close to my heart. I asked permission to share this, no? So mamaya malalaman natin yan, and then we'll get practical. Okay. Ready ba kayo? If you are ready, please type I am ready and then type your company name. I-represent nyo, okay? Para alam kong nandiyan kayo, and then I will read it. I am ready. Our Ripple Kids, kasi naman, di ba? Ripple Kids, Sellers Hub, Comizen, may na-miss ata ako. The Mercs, nandyan. Chantal, si Jean Choi, nandito. Magpo-photoshoot daw yan para sa kanyang feature sa BGC. Sam Enterprises, Roxy, si Serel nandito. Di ba? Si AC Clarin, CDMC, and so on. So mga hindi ko binasa, bala kayo sa buhay nyo. Malalaki na kayo. Alright. Sige, let's have a conversation starter. Sige, ang conversation starter natin ay manggagaling sa franchise and distributorship. Tama ba? Si Jerome Revilla ang sasagot nito. What is the personal effect to you when you're being micromanaged? So, founder and CEO of franchising and distributorship. Jerome, floor is yours, sir.
I feel annoyed and irritated at most.
Sige.
I want to, gusto ko manapak ganon. Manapak ganon.
Pag kami ng micromanage ka.
I will do this on my own way, and kung magkamali ako, it's my fault, it's my responsibility. You don't have to micromanage me, you don't have to monitor me all the time.
Yeah. Diba? Nakakainis, diba? Parang ginawa kang order taker when you are being micromanaged. Ayan. So, later we'll define what micromanagement means. Okay? So for now, thank you so much, Jerome, for sharing your insights, FND, CEO, and founder. Okay, so let's move on. Let's do a very quick recap. Recap muna tayo. Nakareserba si Billy Volpain para sa insights mamaya. Okay, so quick recap. First week, we talk about experiment. Okay, and we talk about business model. The definition of it is an institution, the way an institution is organized to make money. How a company makes money, that's the business model. And ang key lesson natin doon was taken from the dot-com bubble, or what we call the dot-bomb summary, where during that time, anything that has .com in their name, i-investan ng mga investors. You know, even though it doesn't have any business model, it doesn't have any product yet, any track record of performance, anything. Just meron lang silang nakaregister, ini-investan na yan kasi yung get-rich mindset. And it was sort of the wisdom of the crowd turned the foolishness or the folly of the crowd. And because of that, ang nangyari, the US had lost trillions of dollars back in the 1990s. A lot of dot-com bubble, dot-com companies die because they didn't have a business model. So when you're working, when you're CEOs, your business leaders, you have to have a proven track record in terms of your business model. Yun ang gusto nating mangyari dito, right? And the fastest way to kill your startup, ito yung tatlong bagay na kailangan mo lang gawin. Gusto mong malugi o masira yung kumpanya mo. Ang pinakamabilis na paraan, number 1, get the wrong people. Di ba? Get the wrong people, invite them to your team. Hindi, syempre, you don't have the wrong people. We say this all the time, if you have the right people, nothing else matters. If you have the wrong people, nothing else matters. Okay? If you have the right people, kahit pag gaano ka hirap ang sitwasyon, the right people will always find a way. Okay? If you have the wrong people, kahit pag gaano kaganda ang sitwasyon, they will always find an excuse. Diba? So yeah, so pick na lang, bahala ka na lang pumili kung sino ang gusto mo doon. So if you have the wrong people, usually you don't have a business model. Kasi you don't know, diba? So we don't know, if you have the wrong people, we don't know how to make money as a company, and then we scale prematurely. Ibig sabihin, hindi pa ready yung company, hindi pa proven yung business model, in-scale na natin, pinag-grow na natin. Right? So that's the fastest way to kill your business or to kill your startup. So how do you come up with a business model? It should be what we call the hedgehog concept. Okay? It should be based on this one. It is the intersection of three circles, and the concept is passion, which is what you love to do. That should be basis of your business model. It's what you love to do. So much so that no one will, even though someone won't pay you, you'll keep on doing it, di ba? And then hindi lang yon, di ba? Hindi lang passion. Kailangan may performance, something you're naturally good at. Kasi if you have passion but you don't have performance, you're not good at it, it's called a hobby. No one will pay you to do it. Diba? And vice versa, if you're good at it and you're not passionate about it, it's called the curse of success. Diba? You're very successful in something you don't like. You don't want that. Okay? And the third one is profitability. Diba? Kahit pa meron kang passion, magaling ka ron, hindi mo naman kayang makaisip kung paano natin to hahanapan ng pagkakakitaan, it's not gonna be sustainable. Right? So the hedgehog concept, it should be based, the business model should be based on the hedgehog concept. Now, last week we talked about execution. It's about multitasking, and multitasking is defined as more performance of more than one task at the same time. If you want to have clear examples of this, panoorin nyo na lang sa YouTube natin at saka pakinggan nyo na lang sa Spotify or go to the page, watch the second episode for July. And we've laid out data and some facts. It's not my word. Don't take my word for it. The data has proven that the more tasks people do, the worse they perform at each one. So multitasking is a freaking myth. Eh, hindi totoo yun. Eh, huwag tayong papaniwala sa mga sabi-sabi na totoo. Ako, may blood na naman ako, nag-umpisa na naman ako. Jerome, penging fish oil tatanggapin. Okay, so bakit ba kahit myth ang multitasking, bakit ba marami pa rin nagmo-multitask? Well, number one, kasalanan natin to, mga CEO, yan, mga HR. Kasi na-expect natin, di ba, pag naghahanap tayo ng mga kandidato for our company, sasabihin natin, must be able to multitask. Di ba? Parang, high blood nyo ako. Di ba? Kaya, it's our fault. You know? So, let's not look for that when we're posting for job openings or invitation to other teammates, so natin must be able to multitask. Okay, because the second one, erroneous thinking. Just because we're busy doesn't mean we're productive. Yes, a lot of people are busy, but are they productive? That's a different conversation. Okay, some people are good at what they do. They're so efficient, they have plenty of time. So yung thinking na ganun, dapat may ginagawa ako kasi dapat busy ako kasi CEO ako. That's not true. Then later we'll talk about that. And the third is enabled by technology. Because of the technology, napakalakas na ng temptation for us to multitask. Right? So, may 2,800,000 na pala tayong participants. Okay. So, multitasking in business model is called premature scaling. Hindi pa stable yung business model dahil feeling nga niya mag-multitask, gumawa na naman ng isa pa. Okay? O gumawa na ng bagong initiative, new venture. And here's the principle of most companies die not out of starvation, but indigestion. It's not because of lack of opportunities. That's why people or companies die. It's because of so many opportunities kinukuha, nabubulunan. Okay? So, pansin nyo, most bankruptcies happen after record sales. Go do your research. You'll find that. Okay? So, there. And then we talk about how Jack Welch, the late Jack Welch, accelerated the performance of GE from 14 billion in market capitalization to several hundreds, around 450 plus market capitalizations because he used the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule, which says 20% of your critical activities yield 80% of the results. And he applied it by using the fix, sell, or close. If you're not number one in the industry you're operating in, we're gonna fix, we're either gonna fix you, we're going to sell you, or we're gonna close you down. And yung pagbebentahan nun, yung resources na ginagamit doon to sustain that, we're gonna use that to funnel and improve yung number 1 and number 2. Those who are already good at their industries, bobombahan na lang natin. Para it's like their winning product, o winning na, bombahan na natin to. Diba? Kasi it's winning nga eh. So, ganun ang ginawa ni Jack Welch. And why it matters simply because when we focus, instead of multitask, it activates simplicity. When we focus, simple ang buhay. Alam natin kung anong gagawin natin at alam natin kung anong hindi natin gagawin. At dahil simple ang buhay, it tells us what to do and what not to do. Bumibilis ang execution natin. Diba? Kasi simple na lang eh. Konti na lang gagawin natin, mas makakapag-focus tayo, bumibilis sa execution. Hence, it amplifies performance. There! So, isang final quote ko before I move on to our actual topic is The Great at Work written by Morten Hansen. Ang daming nag-message sa akin. Sabi nila, ito yung biggest takeaway nila. Do less, then obsess. Ayan. Okay. So far, so good. Please type, I am engaged if you are still following ang recap natin. Ayan. Dami. Salamat sa 3. Okay. Sige. Moving on. Examine na tayo. There. Let's talk about micromanagement. We talk about the impact nito, yung effect. Parang, dude, like, I can do this. Diba? Gusto mong manafak. Ayan. So, defining micromanagement. Micromanaging is controlling every part, however small, of an enterprise or activity. The keyword here is controlling every part. Now, there's a thin line, like Jill mentioned, no? There's a thin line between being a micromanager, which is a boss, and a deep dive leader or a hands-on leader. Okay? So may thin line yon. It kind of looks like the same kasi both are really controlling. But there's a difference between what they control. The boss controls something else compared to a hands-on leader. Okay? Ayan na. Ayan. Sige. Let's throw in some facts and figures bago natin himayin kung ano yung difference nung dalawa. Okay. This is from Trinity Solutions and the book My Way or the Highway by Harry Chambers. Ito yung sinabi nila. Okay. So, ilang percent daw? Pakitype nga dyan. Ilang percent ang nakaranas na sila ay micromanage? Please type it down. Ayan, 79%. So meron tayong almost 30 people here. What's the 79% of that? Okay, so 10 is 2, 3. So give or take mga more than 20? 20 or give or take. 20 people in this room experience micromanagement. Ayan, so 71% said it interfered, naka-istorbo sa performance ng isang tao. 85%, more than half, said negative ang impact nito sa aking moral na pag ako ay mina-micromanage. 69% said, I want to change jobs, okay, because I am being micromanaged. And actually, 36% ang umalis talaga and change jobs because of micromanagement. And these are the facts that we find. This is the source, no? Search na lang natin yan. Okay. So ano ba ang mga senyales? Ito ang gusto ko eh. Ito ang mga senyales. Because people think, if people who work with me, they know this. I'm very detail-oriented, and that's the focus of this week, no? It's about immersing in details. How do we immerse ourselves in details without being a micromanager? Because that's the sort of misnomer sa akin. People say, when I work with them, one CEO said, you know, you're very keen on details. You tend to control things, but I don't feel micromanaged. Actually, you just ask me questions. So parang, I feel that challenge, I feel that pressure, but it's not toxic pressure. It's more of like exciting pressure, exciting challenge. Right? So ano kaya yung difference? And that's because I transitioned, that was 2011 when I transitioned into becoming a micromanager from a hands-on leader. And these are the differences na nakita ko. Number one, we are controlling the task and not the outcome. Ayan na, di ba? Ang micromanager, sasabihin sa'yo anong gagawin, paano gagawin, kailan gagawin, at ang trabaho mo'y gawin lang yon. Order taker. A hands-on leader controls the outcome. Okay? Ito ang resulta natin. AAA tayo rito. Align tayo. Agree tayo rito. And then we're gonna hold one another accountable. That's the difference. Okay? I'm not gonna tell you how to do things. And yan, kadalasan yan ang frustration nila sa akin. Nagtatanong ako sa'yo, babalik mo sa akin, what do you think? Because it's not my job to tell you what to do. I will share my thoughts, I will provide insights, but I'm not gonna do it for you. Okay? Because that's the key. You control. But the outcome, eto yung resulta. Paano mo gagawin yan? Go figure it out. You have your own style. Okay? It's up to you to learn how to get that on your own. And I will guide, but I'm not gonna tell you what to do. Right? So, yon. Next, every task needs our approval. Ultimo, parang magsi-CR ako, hihinga ako. Pwede ba ako huminga? Gagalaw ko yung mouse ko. Diba? Parang pwede ba yon? Yeah, that's a micromanager. Yan. Relate ba? Please type relate if you're with me. Ayan, ilang minutes pa ako. Ayan. Ayan. Wala na nakarelate. Hirap niyan. Diba? Alright. Next, you need to be CC'd on every email. Diba naman, diba? There are in CEOInsight Asia, some I'm in the group chat, some they kick me out, some I'm not there at all. Like, diba? It's your circle, it's not mine. Diba? Si Chris, nandito ba si Chris? Ayan, sabi niya, sir, pasok ka lang, invite mo yung tao, tapos alis ka na. Ganon tayo, diba? Sobrang wala akong went. So that's the sign na kailangan, dapat nakasisi ako sa email. Kailangan, lahat ng desisyon, alam ko at akong gagawa. Ayan. So that's a sign of micromanagement. We love editing the employee work. Magsasabi, i-edit natin. It has to be our own words. You know, it's not proofreading. It's like, gawin na lang natin yung trabaho. Trabaho ng tao, di ba? Yeah, you enjoy that, di ba? It's like proving them that they did the sloppy work. Here, there's a micromanager. We hate delegating task. Parang ayoko magpasa ng trabaho kasi, syunga-syunga siya eh. So, ang tanong ko, ba't hinayar mo yan kung syunga-syunga yan? Diba? So, you know, if we hate delegating tasks to the people because we don't trust them, then there's a problem with us kasi tayo nag-hire niyan eh. At kung nandyan na yan nung dumating tayo, ba't nandyan pa yan? Yes, it's as a leader, it's always our fault. Here, hating decisions being made without them. Sa atin, sa CEOInsight, diba? Parang pala decision yung mga tao eh. Sinabi ko lang, add nyo si Jill kaya, gusto nyo? Inad na. Sabi ko, gusto lang niya naman. Hindi ko naman sinabing, i-add nyo talaga. Ayan, inad na sa GC, tapos niya, naging committee na ng CEO Summit. Alright, taking back work as soon as there's a problem. So ito kadalasan sa mga leader, hindi, we don't let them make mistakes in the form of rescuing. Hindi, ayoko kasi siya magkamali eh. Di ba? Kaya sasaluhin ko na. Ayan, ako. That's now how people grow. Pag may problema, tapos tayong sisalo lagi. Di ba? That's not our job. Di ba? The rescuer. Hayaan mo sila magkamali and then hold them accountable. Nagkamali ka, anong gagawin natin? Di ba? So, that's you give them ownership. May outs. Sorry naman, Myra. Myra's iPhone sumasakit. Okay. So, taking back work. Hindi pa nga nagkakamali. Feeling natin magkakamali na. Ano na kagad? Ako nagagawa niyan. Okay? So that's signs of micromanagement. Yan. All right. Sige. So si Mark Burnett, I love what he said. And Mark Burnett, you may know him, you might not, but you know him from his work. Okay? He's one of the best executive producers. He's the person behind The Voice, Shark Tank, The Apprentice, Survivor, so in the Jesus, the Bible series. He's the guy behind that, and he was a faculty back in 2012, I believe, sa Global Leadership Summit. So that's an annual summit that I attend to every year where great faculties are the speaker. Once a year lang yon, no? So for people like sa atin dito, just go Principles of Scaling every Friday. Me, I had to wait 1 year, di ba, to get teachings like this, and I had to pay X amount, di ba, very expensive amount, and here we get it for free. Anyway. So si Mark Burnett sabi niya, good morning, darling. I love you too. My daughter's awake na. Yes, you're going to school. Okay, drink your chocolate. Okay, I love you. All right, sorry about that. Alam niyo naman, my daughter's my homework. Anyway, going back, Mark Burnett, he said, what's more annoying than hiring great people and doing their job for them? Doesn't make sense. Ba't ba natin hinayang? Diba? They're great people. Diba? Kasi I believe they're great. Why? We hire them. We don't hire idiots. Yes? So if they're great, why don't we allow them to do their job? Yes? Diba? Now, if we don't believe they're great, why did we hire them in the first place? Or, why are they still there? Diba? So, at the end of the day, wala tayong sisisihin kung di yung tao na nakatingin sa atin sa salamin. Yes, please type yes. Galit. All caps, si Jen. Yan. Ayan. Yes na yes. Grabe naman ang engagement natin ngayon. Relate sila lahat. Ayan. Okay. So why? Here's the question. Why do bosses micromanage? 3 reasons. Number 1, it's because of task. Because they're actually the experts, to be honest. They are the experts of the task. Kaya nga sila na-promote eh. Diba? They're good salesperson and they're so good, they get promoted because they're successful. Now, being a salesperson is a different, sales supervisor rather, it's a different job, a skill set because now you're managing people, you're no longer selling. So now we're managing people and then there's a salesperson. Ang trabaho natin na sales supervisor, a supervisor whatever aspect, is we're so good at our technical job, we should be developing the people. We're coaching them based on our learnings of how to do a better job in that specific aspect. Yun ang dapat na trabaho. Hindi nagma-micromanage. Diba? So yun ang problem eh. That's why we're tempted to micromanage because we're actually good at what they're doing. That's why we got promoted in the first place. So that's one reason why bosses micromanage is because we're the expert in the field and we feel that they're not good. So instead of us, that the job supposed to be to coach them to become good, and nangyayari, we do the job for them. So doble gastos yon, diba? So yon, your CEO, you know that, diba? Nung empleyado tayo, hindi natin napapansin yun kasi hindi naman tayo nagpapasweldo sa mga tao natin, ng mga manager tayo. Pero ngayong CEO na tayo, susmi, ba't ko nga ba binabayaran to? Tapos ang ending ako gumagawa ng trabaho, diba? So maybe we need a good job. We need to do a good job hiring the right people. Okay. The second is we're not trained to many, and this is rampant. In fact, Center for Creative Leadership did the research about first-time managers, and these are managers. At sabi niya rito, in 2012, the largest population of leaders, frontline supervisors at entry level. Ayan, highlight ko to. Kasi na-high blood ako rito eh. Jerome, pakipadala na lang dito yung visual natin. Ayan. They got the least amount of money and support in training and development. They got promoted to become leaders and they got the least amount of money in training and development. At ito pa, 58% never got any some sort of training. First-time managers ito. First-time supervisors. First time to build a business. 58%. Ang sakit sa ulo, di ba? Parang you are entrusting your people. Oo nga, nag-uumpisa na. Diba? You are entrusting the company, people, your most precious resource, okay, of a company. And then we're not training them. Parang it's like, diba, it doesn't make sense. And here's where it takes me off now. Sa mga CEOs, I'm talking to you CEOs. Okay? Because mostly CEOs, they don't get any training on building a business. Because, ito yung mga dahilan na. Ang mahal kasi. Parang, di ba, you wanna build something, kailangan mo talagang gumastos. Ganun eh. Kasi mas magastos kapag babangga-bangga tayo. I can't count how many CEOs come to me and say, sana pala nag-umpisa na tayo. Kasi ilang years akong nag-eksperimento pabangga-bangga wherein someone can give me the experience that they need not to make those mistakes. Mas magastos yun. Diba? Anyway, na-high blood ako doon. So they don't want. And then we have principles of scaling. It's for free every Friday. Diba? And then people, kasi I'm so busy. My God, diba? May circles tayo. And so on. And then I'm busy. Then, no wonder this is the impact of the businesses na meron tayo ngayon. Diba? And, daming excuses. Diba? So, anyway, ayan. Moving on. Yes na may ay. Okay. Pasensya na. Ginusto nyo to. Diba? So, you want to hear the truth from me. This is the truth. You want to get better as CEO, it's your job because a lot of people are relying on you. And you don't get it by experimenting. Okay? Get people, get yourself, so get an advisor. Doesn't have to be me, andyan sila Ferdy, andyan sila get someone else, doesn't really matter. So long as you get an advisor, a mentor. Okay? The second thing is get involved with other CEOs, kaya nga may CEO circles. So you'll get better together. Anyway, okay, so moving on. The third is trust. Yan. So I'll share more about that later. So trust. We don't trust the people. And I think I'm not going to belabor this anymore. Diba? Because, again, if you don't trust the people you work with, bakit nandiyan pa yan? Yes? So find people whom you trust. Okay, so there. Task. We're the experts. We're not trained. Or we don't want to be trained. We have every excuse to be not to be trained. Kasi mahal, kasi busy, kasi ganito, ganyan. Diba? There's a price tag for everything. Ganun talaga. Diba? And trust issues. We don't trust the people we work with. Okay. So the bottom line is this. There's what you call emotional blockage. Diba? Whether they are aware of it or not, people who micromanage want to be the best person in the room. And we have a saying here in CEOInsight Asia ecosystem. Okay? If you are the smartest person in your circle or in your room, you're in the wrong room. Okay? You want to be surrounded with people who are better than you, who are better than us. And it's our job to find those people. Okay? Dapat confident tayo. It's okay for us to look like the idiot. We should be confident if we want to get better. Yes, tama eh. Sabi ni Frank. Tama eh. Ayan. Please type tama eh. Ayan, para alam ko, andyan pa kayo. Diba? Sa Tomo. Ayan. I love one of the rooms na meron tayo sa Sellers Hub, the brightest room. Diba? At meron doon the biggest room in the world is the room for improvement. So yeah, this is all about manifesting an insatiable drive to be better. All right. So, the impact. Ano bang effect pag micromanage? Ayan. So there's reduced productivity, there's reduced teamwork, poor morale, loss of ownership, employee absence dahil nga masyadong micromanage, 'di ba? Hindi na ako productive kasi imbes na nag-iisip ako, order taker na lang ako, 'di ba? Hindi na it's not about having teamwork kasi kung anong gusto ni boss yun na sundin natin. Okay? Poor morale, wala kang gana, loss of ownership, mananapak na nga si Jerome, 'di ba? Employee absence kasi hindi naman ako nag-iisip dito eh. Ba't pa ako papasok dito? And then high employee turnover. Magastos yan. Okay? Alright, so now, we transition. So how do you immerse in details without being a micromanager? Now, let's talk about the practice of deep diving. Okay, so deep diving, ano to? Okay, deep dive is a meaningful and exhaustive investigation, study, or analysis of a question or a topic. So we're going to do a conversation, an exhaustive, di ba? Meaning no stones left unturned. Talagang kakalkalin natin yung pinakaugat. Hindi yung pwedeng, hindi tayo papayag na ang sagot, I'm gonna hit my numbers. Di ba? Next week kasi hindi ko na-hit ngayon. Yeah, but paano? Di ba? You have to drill down to the specifics of the specific activity. Okay, you do that by asking, not telling. Because deep diving, the objective is to analyze things. The keyword here is together. We analyze it together and make things better as a team. A micromanager wants the things to get better by dictating. Kailangan mag-improve to. Ganito gawin nyo, ganyan gawin nyo. Okay? But the objective of a deep dive is, analyze natin to. Ano yung mga hindi ko nakikita? Because I'm not perfect. Talk to my wife. Yan ang unang ko kontra, di ba? No one is perfect. We have blind spots. So we need multiple perspectives. So as a team, we ask, what's the situation and how can we make this better? Okay? Deep dive is asking questions to learn, not asking questions to validate. Hindi kinu-question na meron na tayong ending na gustong mangyari tapos questionin natin. No, but you really probe. You keep asking, again, going back to the keyword, drilling down to the specifics. Hindi pwedeng, babawi ako. Okay, paano? I'm gonna hit my numbers. Yeah, paano? Diba? Anong gagawin mo to hit your numbers? Mag-aaral ako. Anong aaralin mo? Kailan? You have to go. The VNT format is very helpful in making sure that things are aligned. So far, so good. Intense ba? Please type intense. If you are still with me. Ayan. Ginusto nyo to eh. Ayan. Wala kayo. Intense. Yeah. Learning something? I hope you're learning something. Doon sa Facebook, wala kayo sa buhay nyo. Chat na lang dyan. Wala akong access eh. Alright. So I still have 15 minutes. Okay. Learning a lot. Okay. So a micromanager dictates what you must do. A deep dive leader asks what we must do. Right? So this is what deep dive means. We ask the questions. Okay? If you're a leader, your job is not to know all the answers. Before you're a leader, your job is to know all the answers. When we become leaders, when we become CEOs, our job is to ask all the right questions. And if you've been doing this long enough, you will realize it's harder to come up with great questions than having great answers. So with that, why do we need to deep dive? 3 things lang. It starts with letter E and C. First is establish connection with the people. Okay? Hindi tayo, if things are smoother if they feel that the CEO, kasi ang challenge is either the other extreme, you're an ivory tower CEO, di ba? Dito lang ako sa taas. Di ba? Bahala na kayo dyan. Di ba? Malalaki na kayo. Pag nalugi yung kumpanya, kasalanan niyo yan, sisibakin niyo kayo lahat. That's a diba? Ivory tower leader. Or the other extreme is the micromanager. Ultimo pag email, di ba? Talagang, lagyan mo ng kama dyan, lahat mo na dyan. Galaw mo yung mouse, di ba? Habang nag-email ka, nandito. Breathe down your neck. So that's the other extreme. So what you want is to be a deep dive leader. You want to establish connection. I'm here to help you, but it's your job. My job is to help you, not to do your job for you. Yes? So it establishes connection when you do deep dive. The second is it empowers company leaders because the ownership, we give it back to them. Okay? This is your target. That's yours. It's not my job to hit that. Ultimately, yes, but I'm not going to do that for you. Okay? So it's your job to solve that problem. I'm here to help. But I'm not going to do it for you. So you ask, how can we hit this? What help do you need? So it gives them empowerment, I feel when I'm being that, let me figure it out. And then I'll ask for your help. Okay, so it empowers company leaders and last but not least, expands capabilities. Na i-stretch kasi because we're forced to learn something when we are operating on a timeline and a target. I love what Jill mentioned kanina. No? When she started, she just signed up. She has no connection here. Tama ba, Jill? You had no connection with anyone here at CEOInsights. Kaya may mga connection dito, mapalad kayo, na-invite kayo. Jill signed up. First week, she was in my circle. Malas niya. I hope that's a good thing. So the following week, sabi ko, Jill, can you facilitate the circle? So nag-facilitate siya the circle. And she's an introvert, by the way. So she gets drained with multiple interaction. So nag-facilitate siya, and then the following week, sabi ko, Jill, can you write the insights for next month? So siya nagsulat, and then now, Jill, can you be the host? So basically, that's what we do. Yan ang phase 1, 2, 3 natin, di ba? Pwede ka ba? Phase 1, pwede ka ba? Phase 2, kaya mo pala eh. Phase 3, bala ka na dyan. So ganun yung natin, phase 1, 2, 3 natin. Yeah. It's a trap, yes. So, when we give opportunities to people and give back the pen, hindi natin sasaluhin. We're not gonna do our job for them. It forces them to either grow or, not. And some people grow because they have the attitude to grow. Some people don't. They don't have the attitude. Masaya na ako ng ganito eh. So it expands. So our job is to coach them. Okay, so that's a deep dive. Summary natin. When you do deep dive, establish a connection. Second, empowers company leaders. And third, it expands capabilities. All right. Okay. So let me do a quick case study. And then I still have 10 minutes. So quick case study of 2 companies. The first one is my company. It sounds so class, sorry, but this is the best definition. So, and then we'll feature someone who's close to my heart. I asked his permission to share this. Anyway, so my job, people come to me, they ask me, I want to do executive advisory. How does that work? Sabi ko, so every week we do what you call deep dive. Okay, we do the business review. We review the numbers and then we talk about strategies on how to grow it on a weekly basis. Diba? So ang beauty ng executive advisory is you get to strategize regularly and pivot weekly. So that's what we do. Once a week nakikita kami, mamaya meron akong 2 pa, 'di ba, after neto. So ganun na lang yung commitment natin sa inyo. Mahal na mahal namin kayo lahat. Anyway, so at first they will, it's fun. Now you have this one. So yeah, si Jean Joy. All right. So pag nag-engage sa akin, napapa-pray na lang bigla eh. Grabe pala, tindi pala nito, di ba? So yan ang mga reaction. If you've been following my post, you will see the reactions of the CEOs working with me. Hindi ko na sinama yung sellers kasi sila. Ayoko na isama si Ses. Ayan, di ba? Ayan. Yan ang normal reaction. Tapos yung yan, napapadasal. Ito yung mag-asawa, di ba? Yung COO, napapa-head slap na lang. Ayan. So because we strategize on a weekly basis, we do a deep dive, we want to assess the organization, and then we strategize on how to accelerate performance. Okay. So we've been working for quite some time. Anyway, I want to feature this company yan. So the Mercs. Yan, director natin si Frank Mercado. Tatahi-tahimik lang yan. Pero matindi yan. All right. The funny thing about the people working with me, they don't like to brag. Hindi na, sila BK, hindi na kailangan salitaan yan. Basta alam na namin yun. We're in a good place right now. Yan na lang, nagkakaintindihan kami na. Compared to last year, ayan ha. At we still have 5 months to go. Ayan. So we're in a very good place. Kasi Frank din yan, tahimik lang yan, pero matinik yan. And when we were doing business review this week, so we were analyzing situation. And the beauty of it, Frank decided to do the business review also in their team. So nagbi-BR din sila. And then we figured out something na they shared this with me, sabi nila, meron tayong sales, I think it was Cindy. Was it Cindy? Yeah. Ayan. So si Cindy is a great sales associate. Her numbers are way above compared to the other person. I forgot the name, pakichat nga Frank. Si Cindy at saka si Michael. Ayan, si Michael. So nag-deep dive sila. Sabi, ba't ang galing ni Cindy magbenta? Bakit si Michael? We want to get what's that, no? So they probe, they deep dive, they ask questions, and they discovered na ang ginagawa ni Cindy para makabenta siya, merong mga inventory na hindi na mabenta. So ang ginagawa niya, fini-freebie niya na, okay ma'am, para bili ka na lang, isasama ko na to as freebie. So it's very smart. Diba? Na you remove, napagalaw mo yung inventory, kaya naman kasi na yan hindi na yun nabebenta. So instead of itambak lang natin dyan, ibigay na lang natin as freebie. So we were able to discover that. Diba? So once we discovered that, ang ginawa natin, ni-replicate natin, tinuro natin kay Michael yon, and it became a practice. Okay, a standard practice. So that's what happens when you do deep dive. You get to extract the best practices, and then you get to spread it. So that's one key case study that I want to emphasize. And as we transition now to getting practical, so let's get practical. Okay, 3 hours lang to. How do you do BR or how do you do deep dive in your company? First, review your numbers. You have to know your numbers. And if you don't know your numbers, talk to Chill, talk to AJ. Ayan. Know your numbers. You can't improve something you don't measure. And generally speaking, whatever you measure improves. You have to know it on a weekly basis. Kami nga daily. Nakakatawa sila Eman. Sila Eman ng COVID. Minsan nga lang, because I have access to the numbers, daily we tracking the performance. At pag may butas, tatanong lang ako, Eman, hindi pa updated. Sagot Eman, sasabonin ko. Sagot din, nagtatanong lang ako. Kaya kung sino man sa komisyon ang nasabon, pasensya na, nagtanong lang talaga ako. No? Okay? So, what you want is to really know your numbers. After knowing your numbers, reap the insights by asking this question. What critical insight did you gain from what work that we can replicate to other areas of our operation? Ba? And paano mo malalaman kung nag-work? Nag-hit yung target? Nag-i-improve? So you do a deep dive on your best associate. Sino yung laging nagpe-perform? At pag magaling siya, do a deep dive. Bakit siya magaling? Like what the Mercs did, no? Paano niya nagagawa yon? And then once you reap the insight, you replicate. Oh, this is working. You know, yung script na to, it's working. Copy-paste natin, bigay natin sa lahat ng associates natin. Oh, ito, nag-work ito. Baka pwede natin i-transfer sa ibang department. Okay? But you have to do deep dive on a regular basis. On a weekly basis. Yes? Yes, so far so good. Please type yes if you are still with me. Ayan. Mga all caps. Si Abby nandito. Ayan. Okay, so ito yung flywheel. Ayan. Review, reap the insights, and then replicate. Ayan. Okay. And then repeat, review. In closing. O, diba? Closer na tayo. In closing. We're talking about immersing in details dito, and it's all about, manifesting an insatiable drive in it. We want to be detail-oriented, but we don't want to be micromanagers. And the difference between the two is the micromanager tells or dictates, the hands-on leader asks. Together, they figured out a solution. And I want to end this with honoring the people, no? So this is the team behind the CEO Summit. We're very detail-oriented, but at the same time, we're operating loosely. These are the people behind the event na gagawin natin next year, October rather. Yan. So I want to honor them, si Chris, yan, si AJ, si Joanne, president yan ng isang organization, and she's volunteering to become part of our team. Yan, si Gramworth. And si Mel, no? Na nasa Shangri-La ngayon, 3 days. Sana all, di ba, nasa Shangri-La. And not only that, but the team behind this principles of scaling. You don't know the immersion in details of how we organize this. Si Frank, ang director natin, kagabi pa yan. Nag-uusap na kami yan. Me, like I mentioned, I had 2 executive advisory yesterday, working with CEOs, and then I had a talk sa informatics last night with 60 graduating students. I ended up around mga 8 or 9, and then I still completed the deck. And then I presented, nagising ako 6 a.m. kanina to practice a deck so that we can give you a show. Si RD na natulog, sasabunin niya ni Frank, but RD, and then si Chris who's doing the insights. Point is, we are really doing everything we can. Excellent service for you. We're very immersed in our details. For the people in our circles, for the people in our who's attending this principles of scaling, because we want to give you what's the best. Diba? Kaya yung mga nasa circles, I mean, I've said this before, I'll say it again. We're not your secretary, we're not your babysitter that you can join on your... These are CEOs. Diba? And they're not supposed to be here, but they chose to be here to serve other people. And we want to honor them. Yes? Please type yes if you are enjoying the principles of scaling, the insights, the circles. Yan. So, yun ang expectations natin dito sa ecosystem natin. Alright? We want to give our best to one another. And we want to honor the best. Diba? So, yung mga nasa partner circle, diba? Bring your partners. If not, then join a men or a women. Kasi for partners yan eh. And vice versa. If you're too busy to become part of a circle, no problem. Diba? Let's free up kasi nahihiya ako sa mga nasa waitlist, hindi makapasok. Diba? Kasi puno pa tayo tapos hindi naman nagsha-show up. Huwag tayo ganon. Diba? Huwag tayo ganon. We're CEOs. Our word is stronger than any contract. We do things because we said we would do it, not because it's in the contract. Yes? Please type yes if you are still with me. And now, I will give the floor to Billy. Ayan, for the final insight, and then we will close. All right, Billy, anong key insight mo, sir? Nawala si Billy. Ay, pwede
hello.
Ayan, Billy, go.
Hi, good morning. So, ang ganda ng insights ng ngayon para sa akin, parang as a CEO or as a owner of the company, let us not control the people, but let them do their craft, 'di ba? Parang sa akin I believe in synergy. Na two heads are better than one. Yeah. Tas saka yung maganda yung review, rip, and replicate. So you go deep, you go deep to your parang situation, not only ikaw lang, but with other people. Kasi para mas sabi mo nga kanina na hindi meron kang nakikita, meron kang hindi nakikita na nakikita nila.
Yes.
Yes. So yun, so napaka laki nung learnings ko today. So thank you, sir.
All right.
For that.
All right. Thank you, Billy, for volunteering. For those who want to, next week, we'll do, what's our next week's topic? Yun. So next week, we'll do another session. I will be posting a conversation starter and insights. If you want to participate like Billy and like Jerome, just talk to your circle multiplier. With that, enjoy the rest of the week. Happy weekend. Thanks for joining. Para sa hindi nakapanood, go to your YouTube, Spotify, and our page for the replay. Blessings, everyone. Cheers, cheers. Bye-bye.